Hi everyone. So lean production, we talk about mainly the lean production is the integrative approach. It's a production technique which actually focus on the reducing the resources used. So lean production techniques, we normally talk about the just-in-time technique, and after that we talk about the Kaizen system. And the Kaizen system, we talk about the it's a continuous improvement, and then we talk about the Kaizen concept, the good housekeeping principle, the 5-way system. After 5-way system, we are going to discuss about today the other related principles of the like lean production, which is standardization, team working, empowerment. Right. We'll start with the first concept, standardization. This is another lean management related concept. Standardization, you can see again this name we heard in the 5-way system also, like called Seiton, like mainly standardize everything. You must have some kind of a rule, like a practice, like an audit must be there, standardization. So it means that carrying out every business activity according to established formula, established system. For example, let's say cleaning chart you can see. So what are the cleaning, the areas that you have to clean, what are the like how many how long you have to clean, like every 6 hours, every 2 hours to 2 hours, or 4 hours to 4 hours, and you can go and daily you can go and check in those things like that. These formula may be printed out and hung in the workplace for all to see, and they develop into standards for the best, so most efficient and safety way to complete the job. So in this way, quality is assured and customer expectations are met, and it is management task to make sure the standards are maintained, and managers must get involved in standards are not maintained and also make adjustment to the method to avoid the future failures to produce to the standard. So standardization is like that you are making kind of like a fix, like a program. Standardization, if you make the system standardized, is automatically every year, like every day, a daily basis, you can follow the routine, standardized routine. So this is another important element that normally if you make a like a progress, like if you make a like a kind of production goal, you have to make it like a best method, and you have to make it like a rule, standardized. Then you can daily practicing it, because this is the best practice is called standardization. Then again and again you can carry out the standardized method, the prescribed method. Then people will not do the other the standard, they don't deviate from the standards. Therefore organization can expect the full control and the full efficiency and productivity can expect from the by following standardized method. It's like a maintenance of machines, kind of maintenance of the like a building. It's like a color wash your building like that. So standardized must be there, standard must be there. For example, let's say road rules, right? Traffic rules, right? Mean like when it's red color, you have to stop your vehicle. Green color, you have to go like that. Those are standards, right? Otherwise, what happens if people are not following those standards? Always people want whatever the color they want, then what the accident will increase. By having this kind of a standard rules and regulation, they be able to actually right. Okay, that's about the standardization. That is really important lean production technique. We are going to discuss about the next point is a team working. Team working also really important concept in most of the quality control, especially Japanese concept. Team working is the key of success, like mainly without, because this is not individual efforts, it's all team efforts. Even Kaizen is a team effort, 5 ways is a team effort, right? Always is a just in time also team effort. Everything in the lean production is team effort. Individual they can contribute, but later on all these individual efforts are counting as a team. It's all about team working. So team working, this involves dividing the workforce into small groups, and each team will focus on a particular area of production, and team members will have the same common names. So both the business and workers might benefit from teamwork. So the teamwork mainly, like a team can be consist like between 5 to 10 maximum, right? Like small team work, for example, it's the school. So we can divide the teams into like a subject, right? Mathematics, science, chemistry, physics, bio, right? Business, economics, accounting, like different teams, right? For example, let's say in the arts department, there are four teachers. There is like a small team, so they can talk about the syllabus coverage, right? The paper settings, and so on about in their own subject. Maths department will talk about the syllabus coverage, paper settings, and the how to improve this one, and how to like improve the student grades, right? Teaching techniques, new syllabus updates, everything related to their subject, like that every department. So they can actually make a teams. For example, it's a marketing department, So sales team, you can divide it like that, small sales team, right? Corporate and retail, or region A, region B, region C, regional wise. Sometimes within a department, they can have multiple teams. So sometimes mainly departmental wise, marketing team, human resource team, production management team, finance team, right? IT team, like that. So you can have some kind of team based on their roles and responsibilities. So mainly by having a teamwork, you can benefit this thing that like workers should develop a team spirit, the corps, that's team spirit. Talk about this team working sometimes in kind of a non-financial motivation also. Team working, according to the Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs theory, social need is a part of a human motivation. So teamwork is really important. Like so go to the Herzberg two-factor theory also. It's kind of a hygiene factor. Working condition, relationship between your boss and the other peers. So that is a very important. Team working is always a kind of a non-financial motivation also, right? And according to sometimes human behavior theories also, team working is a number one. Money, right? You might know that sometimes Hawthorne experiment. So there we talk about mainly the team working. Sometimes human behavior is more important than all other monetary rewards. Therefore, teamwork is really important. You can bring very good results, synergy impacts. So workers should develop a team spirit, and this will improve motivation and productivity. Right? Flexibility might improve. For example, team members might be more willing to cover an absent colleague. So it's happening always like teamwork. You can cover for someone, and teams might plan their own work schedules, share out tasks, and solve their own problems. And this should lead to a quicker decision making and more ideas. That's why. So because of the quicker decision making, right? Because team can solve their own problems, right? And communication and labor relation might also improve because of the teams, because of the departments. Communication, labor relation also much improve because sometimes you can't communicate with everyone in the department, but within your team you can. In your team, in your department, if you are 10 members, so you can maintain that. Sometimes you can have small team meetings, team outing, team, right? So team lunch outs, everything you can organize, and as a result of that, you can actually have increase your communication and understanding, and labor relation you can understand. So this is the benefits of having teamwork. The second related concept of the lean production today we discussed. So first one is the standardization. Second one is the team working. Right. So team working benefits are normally you can give a team spirit, increase the flexibility, right? You can plan your own work schedule and improve the communication and labor relation, right? The third principle related to the lean production is the empowerment. Empowerment we talk about, this is a non-financial method of motivation, right? Empowerment, like delegation, like empowering. Empowerment means like giving more control over their own work. In the past, most workers have followed the instruction given by them by managers, right? So it's like information giving. And they were rarely required to think by them for themselves. It's always there to follow the instruction, follow the orders given by the managers. However, if workers are empowered, they can given the authority to make decisions, solve problems, and work creatively. As a result, the business benefit from more workers realizing their full potential. Also, motivation is likely to improve since workers feel trusted and their work may be more interesting as a result of that. For example, like you're giving some powers to some workers, you believe in them. So it's not always information giving, it's kind of a consultancy. You're giving them some powers. Okay, you decide this, you tell what to do, right? So you handle this task like this. So always workers should be, sometimes they can use their creativity, their own experience in some decision making process. So empowering always gives some kind of non-financial motivation for the workers, especially like autonomy, some independence to make their own decisions. So because they don't always want to actually get the instruction from the boss. Sometimes workers must be able to get some kind of the thinking their own way and make up very good decisions. It's really important. The empowerment is giving employees more control over their own work. But this is depending on certain business organization, right? So empowerment sometimes not possible. For example, some of you are doing working in like a production line, like a floor production, sometimes batch production. you have to follow the task given by the management in that case. For example, in a garment factory, empowerment sometimes not possible because workers has to perform the same routine task, job specialization you're expecting, and the production targets must be achieved. In that case, the worker specialization, because of that, the empowerment sometimes rarely we can use because we have a set of standards to practice in a large organizations. But some organization, for example, is a clerical worker. If we are like a knowledge worker, sometimes empowerment is really helpful. For example, software engineer, sometimes a lawyer, accountant, right? Production manager, marketing manager. We can grant the empowering them, like we can tell them, you decide your own way. You decide the product promotion method as a marketing manager. You decide how to plan this audit as a financial manager, right? You decide the manufacturing system. You decide the manufacturing method, machines, right? They are taking decision in their own capacity. That is called the empowerment, really important concept, which is really important for the lean production as well, because without empowering, people can't actually, they become like a certain like a machines. Okay, the next concept is suggestion scheme. The fourth concept related to lean production, suggestion scheme. Suggestion schemes encourage workers to suggest ideas to improve production or reduce cost. So it's like a consultation process, like you can say quality control, quality circles like that. The simple scheme involves, right, what they do, workers writing their ideas, workers writing their ideas down and putting them into a suggestion box. When the worker's idea is adopted, they should be rewarded, sometimes with cash or prize. Suggestion schemes are often a feature of Kaizen. So another feature, the fourth feature of Kaizen is suggestion schemes. It's like kind of a consultation process. Like getting the consultation, because sometimes ground workers, the people at the bottom of the hierarchy, are sometimes more knowledgeable and more informed than the managers in the top level. Therefore, we have to get the grassroots level, the workers' ideas also. That's why some organizations they have a suggestion box. Suggestion box. Sometimes that's why even good governance also. We can actually have the suggestion schemes are really important. We can get the ideas of the like a normal people, like normal people like farmers and the other people in the society, because their ideas also really important. Before government implements some policy decision, I think the suggestions are really important to consider, because that's the, I think, good feature of the democratic country. In a democratic organization also, this is a really good feature, having a suggestion schemes. There are good suggestions as well as bad suggestions. So management has to have some kind of screening process, take these suggestions from the glass box and then open it up and then find out the best suggestion that increase the productivity of the organization. And then management has some kind of a duty to reward the person who gave that idea. Idea generation is really important, because in the grassroots level, there are some people with some entrepreneur qualities, entrepreneur capacity. So you have to give them some opportunities to initiate those creative ideas. That's the main purpose. But in Western countries, we can see these suggestion schemes are not caring that much, almost information giving. But nowadays, because of these Japanese philosophies, so suggestion schemes are normally used by in the organizations as well. Sometimes they're taking the ideas not only from the workers, sometimes even from the customers, or they're taking ideas into their service process or production process. Quality circle. The next one is a quality circle. You can see the definition: small group of factory workers who meet regularly to discuss ways to improve working methods and to solve problems, called the quality circle. So quality circle, for quality circle, small group of workers in the same area of production who meet on a regular basis, like a departmental meeting. Like departmental meetings, the basis to solve the problems in their own department. So quality circles give employees an opportunity to make improvement in their jobs and therefore support Kaizen. So this is also part of a continuous improvement, because this is a kind of very important thing, the discussion, right? Quality circle, right? Having some kind of like everything, like communication is the number one. So in some organizations, they implement this, like for example, some schools, once a week at least, sometimes it can be after school. So it's mandatory to have a departmental meeting, and then they can talk about their ideas, their improvement methods, the ideas they can generate, and then opportunity to make improvement on their jobs Therefore, it supports Kaizen. It is important that the meetings are in the work style and support the both workers and managers. Right, so it's important quality circle. So quality circle also similar like a kind of a suggestion scheme thing. So here also quality circle, they only talk about the how to improve the quality, how to improve their production, how to improve their service, like that. After discussion, they generate good ideas, and from the workers, the ideas they're implementing, because they are the one who better know about the work in progress, the performance, everything, the organization structure. Therefore, quality circles also really important element of the Kaizen. And finally, multi-skilling. Multi-skill mean you can see workers are trained in more than one skill, which enables them to do a range of jobs. Multi-skill, like cricket team, you can see there are batting, bowling, and fielding specialists. Multi-skill people, all rounders. This is also a really important concept nowadays. If workers are trained on variety of skills, that's said to be a multi-skilled worker. Multi-skilled workers are more useful to a business because they provide more flexibility. For example, workers can cover for absent colleagues in a different work areas more easily because of that, right? Workers might also be better motivated if they are allowed to do a range of different jobs. This is called sometimes job enrichment. Job enrichment, not enlargement, enrichment, vertical loading, different skills. Then you can get more variety of jobs. It's like a similar, like a kind of a job rotation, because you can work in any workstation because of this multi-skill, right? Sometimes you are good in IT, you can work in the IT department. If you are good in marketing, you can work in marketing department. If you are good in administration, you can work in the human resource department. And if you know something financial management, you can work in the accounts department. Like that, multi-skilled worker. It's really important. It's a good resource for an organization. It's like so similar to like a teacher who can teach more several subjects. Because if one teacher absent, you can go and cover up that class. Like that, there are certain advantages of there having multi-skilled people in the organization. Right, as a result of that, you can see workers might be better motivated if they are allowed to do a range of different jobs. It might be help to take their work more interesting. This is the main related method of multi-skilling method, right? Mainly multi-skilling, quality circles, suggestion scheme, right? And different concept we discussed right now. Right, now we're going to the last topic of this lean production thing, the importance of using resources effectively. There are certain benefits you can see, financial benefits are there, right? Because of this, because lean production, they talk about the importance of using resources effectively or applying lean production. Benefits, financial benefits are there, competitiveness improvement are there, positive environmental effects are there, right? As a result of this is also finally there are improvement of the customer services also there, right? This one actually can see, we can summarize like this. Standardization, right? Definition is there. And then team working, definition is there. Benefits of team working, the 4 benefits of team working summarized there. And empowerment, the definition of empowerment is there. Suggestion schemes is there. Quality circle, right? This is more appropriate for large businesses. That is there. And also finally, I given the multi-skilling also. In this table, look at the importance of using resource effectively. So I have given the strands also, the 4 benefits, and the strands in the development points also, right? In examination, if we ask a question, right, analyze the benefits of lean production, analyze the importance of using resources effectively, you must be able to take at least 2 benefits, you must be able to develop like that using at least 3 strands here to develop. For example, financial benefits, you can see because of that lean production, fewer resources are used, therefore business costs will be lower. This will lead to increase their profit. So always because of financial benefits, everything you can see the leading point is increase the profitability. You can say their business will make more profit, leads to increased return for the owners, provide cheap funds for the investment in the future. So these are the links. You can see financial benefits. Improved competitiveness. In this case, you can see competitiveness improvement. Lean producers will have a competitive edge in the market. And lean production, because of that, will be able to lower their prices. And third one, you can see positive environmental effects. Positive environmental effects, if the business make more effective use of resources, it will be making a positive contribution to the protection of the environment, like reduce emissions, we call, right? Because if you use the resources more effectively, so there is a positive contribution to the world, like environment, reduce emissions, pollution. And if business use recycled resources, this will help to reduce the resource depletion, right? And also finally, it's improve the business image if you actually think about the positive environmental effect, because if you are a eco-friendly company. Finally, the improved customer satisfaction concept, right? Because of the lean production, it's improved the customer service. Therefore, lean production often results in shorter lead times. That's why. And also leads to customer satisfaction due to quick delivery, and customer service because of the quality product, better quality products. So you can see these are the main benefits of having lean production, the main advantage of having lean production. You can see we talk about the importance of using resource effective. This is the way that you have to explain. So at least two benefits you must know: financial benefits, environmental effect, customer side, competitiveness wise. You must be able to develop your answers accordingly, right? So finally, we talk about the lean production concept. Normally, we can apply for even small business as well as large business. There is no reason why businesses of all sizes should use lean production in their operation. However, it could be argued that larger businesses are more likely to adopt lean production method. So you can see that is a good hint that you can see like lean production. All these topics are mainly you can ask normally in the large business paper than the small business paper, because lean production normally we apply mostly in the large businesses. So it's a good hint that you can see the lean production concept, this quality concept, everything. Sometimes a lot of past papers, if you analyze, we can see a lot of large business past papers. We can see this lean type questions we can expect in the large business paper. They may be because they have a lot more to gain since they produce much larger levels of output. Also, some lean production methods may not be suitable for small business. Like, for example, if a business only employ one of the worker, so team working, quality circles may not be really appropriate. That's why. So if you have small business, definitely some production principles, some lean production concept like quality circle, team working, sometimes we cannot apply because of the less number of workers. Okay, let's go to MCQ questions. You can give your response as usual in the chat line. Which of the following is an advantage of just-in-time manufacturing? A, labor productivity increase. B, stock holding costs are significantly reduced. C, lead times are lengthened. D, dependence on the reliability of suppliers is increased. Just-in-time advantage. Yes, I got a couple of answers. Answer is B, correct. B is the correct answer. Lead stock holding costs can significantly reduce. Very good. Right. Second question. Lean production focuses on which of the following? Lean production focuses on which of the following? Increase the labor productivity. B, improving cash flow. C, using fewer resources. D, making production more capital intensive. Yes, 5 students gave the correct answers. Yes, very good. C is the correct answers, right? So everyone gave the 5 students gave the correct answers. Using fewer resources. Lean means using fewer resources. Question number 3. What does Kaizen mean? A, continuous improvement. B, agile manufacturing. C, multi-skilling. D, market-oriented. Yes, this time 7 students gave the correct answers. Correct. A is the correct answers. Continuous improvement. A, continuous improvement. Very good. Last question. Which of the following is a practice associated with the Kaizen? A, extension strategies. B, skimming. D, product differentiation. D, empowerment. Yeah, 3 students get the correct answer this time. D is the correct answer. Very good. Talk about just today. Practice related to Kaizen is empowerment. So what are the other practices related to Kaizen? Empowerment, right? Suggestion scheme, quality circle, right? Multi-skilling. These are the other practices related to Kaizen, right? Okay, let's go to chapter review also. It's a very important case study, a very famous case study called Herman Miller. Herman Miller, right? So I'll invite this question to read. Divine, can you read this question, please?
Yes, sure. Herman Miller. Herman Miller manufactures office chairs in the US. Their errand chair is one of its most popular lines. Herman Miller runs a modern and efficient production operation and has seen more impressive improvements in productivity in recent years. Much of this improvement has resulted from the use of Kaizen, which they began using when the company brought in a Kaizen expert working for Toyota. One of the first steps in the process of change was to empower the work. Employees in the factory were asked to suggest small changes that could help to improve the speed or ease of working practices around their workstation. The employees noticed that they could break down their current working practices into 1,200 tasks and that they had remained unchanged for many, many years. One example of a small change that was suggested was the position of a bin containing metal rings. By moving it slightly, employees reduced the amount of reaching required by 6 inches. Another was the adjustment in the height of the assembly line. It was changed slightly so that workers did not waste few moments bending over. Such changes are extremely small, but this is what Kaizen is all about. If some changes like this are made continuously over a period of time, significant improvements in efficiency can be made. Training is a very important element of Kaizen at Herman Miller. One program included 1 day introduction, a 5 day boot camp, and a 12-week bridge program. This helped Herman Miller to develop a more specific approach to problem solving. Also, numerous standardized factory procedures have improved at Herman Miller over the course of the past decade. These changes and many others have to lead to the following improvements. A new errand chair now comes off the production line every 17 seconds compared with 82 seconds 13 years ago. Production time has been reduced from 600 seconds to 340 seconds. Measures of safety have improved by a factor of 6. Quality indicators have improved by a factor of 10. The factory is then 10 times smaller. The labor time needed to make a single chair is one-fifth of what it should be. Customers' lead times have fallen from 2 months to 10 days. Product range has increased from 5 standard designs to 7. No inventory of finished products is held. Reliability is now 99.4%. Product falls have been reduced to less than 0.1%. Despite this impressive list of benefits, Herman Miller is still achieving improvements of one quarter of one half of a second at a time, month by month as a practice of Kaizen continues.
Very good, Divan. Thank you. So mainly this case study is US, the chair maker, Herman Miller, is very famous company. So they apply Kaizen into their US company. You can see as a result of that, there are wonderful outcomes we can see. And they have a really good system of adapting Kaizen. They have a training programs. They have including like introduction programs and also 12 weeks bridge program, so many things to develop the more scientific approach of problem solving. Like mainly there are so many numerous strands they're using. So it's a very important case study about the Kaizen concept, right? So mainly they're asking the 4 questions here. What is meant by Kaizen? And it's continuous improvement, simple definition, right? And second question, Kaizen is usually driven by good housekeeping. What does this mean? So that is, you have to talk about the 5S principle here. We talk about the good housekeeping and discuss one advantage of Herman Miller of empowering workers. Advantage empowering comes under a practice, a principle of one of the principle of Kaizen method, empowering. So advantage of that, so giving some autonomy to people, workers to make their own decisions, to make a better decisions in the business. That's called advantage. You'll see what are the benefits of making empowering decision making workers, and also assess the benefits to Herman Miller of implementing Kaizen. So benefits to the Herman Miller, benefits to the company of implementing Kaizen and making more effective use of resources. So in most of the questions, I have seen that some students, they're asking, assess the benefits mean, sometimes they're only talking about the benefits. It's a one-sided essay. So if you especially assess question, evaluate questions, don't write one-sided answers. So even though you ask the benefit, you have to write some drawbacks as well. You have to balance the answer, right? So therefore, always I'm advisable when you ask assess question, evaluate question, you can start the definition, knowledge section, to define the what is Kaizen means, and then it makes more like reliable output and talk about the disadvantages, these 2 advantages and 2 drawbacks or 2 limitations of Kaizen, as well as we can talk about the conclusion. Most of the answers when I'm marking, I found a lot of students are normally find like mainly one-sided essays because they're asking assess benefits, though they give only just 2 benefits. So they are getting only just half of the mark. This 12-mark question, sometimes they are getting like a 4 marks or 5 marks out of 12. right? Because you have another other side of the answer, you don't have any clue. Therefore, don't do that mistake. Always, justify questions, evaluate questions, especially 9 marker, 12 markers. You have to write the both sides. So two positives and two negatives are compulsory. So that's why I'm again and again we are remind these points for writing answers in your coming up in a mock exams and all. So you can use these systems continuously. Always have a balanced answer, balanced question. Like always, not only just the benefit. We talk about you must talk about the drawbacks as well, and you have to come up with the conclusion. Conclusion means some alternative viewpoint or sometimes the problems for those solutions. Right? You can suggest some kind. That's called like a conclusion. What are the possible solution for that problem? Okay. Now let's go about this the marking scheme. How these answers are coming in the marking scheme. What is meant by Kaizen is just a simple word, like Japanese word for the continuous improvement. This is a belief in Japan that everything can be improved. Even at work, the Japanese believe that the possible to make improvement continuously. This means that the workers are always coming up with ideas, improve quality, reduce waste or increase efficiency. The improvement may be very small, but over a long period of time, they have a huge impact. As I told you, small changes, long-term huge impact. Kaizen was introduced by the Herman Miller. So in this case, one of the example of a small change will suggest that position of the bin containing washer, moving it slightly employees reduce the amount of reaching required by 6 inches. It's a small change. Moving that bin little bit like a 6 inches away, you can actually reduce the employee movements by small amount. But that improve the productivity, at least 1 point, like a single small fraction. That was important. Every single inch is important. So that's why even moving the dustbin, like to put the bin which consider the use like washers and everything, like that reduce the employee motion, the movements by 6 inches. Sometimes long run, it will be have improving the huge impact we can see. Right, and then Kaizen was in this is mainly, and also not only that, another was to adjustment in the height of the assembly line, right? Adjustment of the height of the assembly line. It was changed slightly so that the workers did not waste a few moments bending over. Imagine, look at the way, right? So then workers' movements and reduce. Such changes are extremely small, but this is what Kaizen is all about. And if small changes like are made continuously over a period of time, significant improvement in efficiency can be made. So always in questions, now normally outline questions, 2 markers, analyze question, please use your application like this, right? Even state questions, you have to write the application like this. Okay. Kaizen is usually driven by good housekeeping. What does this mean? So this is talk about the 5S system. One of the key drivers in Kaizen is a good housekeeping, a clean and well organized. This question can become sometimes 5S questions so far in our the examination they have tested so far, but I think in future it can be tested because why? There's a more chance because now it's very highly everyone knows about this concept, 5S concept, lean production concept, everything. I think because if you ask this question, sometimes analyze questions. Analyze the benefits of good, or what is outline what is meant by this good housekeeping. So one of the key drivers in Kaizen is a good housekeeping. A clean and well-organized working environment is needed for continuous improvement to flourish. The Japanese use the method called 5S to ensure this is achieved. This involves adapting to 5 specific practices, all beginning with test. That's why we call 5S, right? First one is sort, right? Seiri. And this is about getting rid of the clutter of the workplace and only necessary items such as tools and stored at workstation. All other items such as excess inventory should be removed as a result of that. And the next is set in order, right? Seiton, right? And this is the work area should be organized so that the easy to find and that the work is needed, right? Shine is another because you always have to clean it up, right? And it's also to do with making a work area equipment clean. Start your day with cleaning, right? Make it shine, then standardize. Means that once the most effective working practices have been identified, you have to make it like a rule and should be adopted by everyone in the workplace. Finally, sustainability, and means that the system should be adapted so that the previous forces are locked into the way people work and all times on a permanent basis. So these 5S is the key of the good housekeeping concept. So especially very important. Always, not only organization, even your personal life also. This good housekeeping principles are you can use. Right. Okay. Let's go to next question. Discuss one advantage of Herman Miller of empowering workers. The empowering workers, you can see there's not kind of like a non-financial motivation, but kind of like a very important principle and coming under the Kaizen method. The aim of empowerment is to give employees more control over their own work. We call autonomy in other words. In the past, most workers followed the instruction given by the manager for information giving. So they're like slaves. But now it's not like that. They were rarely required to think for themselves. However, if workers are empowered, they are given the authority to make decisions, solve problems, and work creatively. So at Herman Miller, one of the first steps when introducing Kaizen was to improve the workforce, empower the workforce. So employees in the factory were asked to suggest small changes, like moving the dustbin, increase the moving the heights and different changes you can do. And empowerment in the factory was asked to suggest small changes in the workplace. So therefore, empowering give the like ease of working practices around their workstation, and also empowering people at work. There are certain benefits, are the advantages for an organization, can improve their motivation, right? Then can improve their motivation, especially non-financial motivation. This is because workers feel trusted and their work may be more interesting. As a result, they should be more productive and cooperative, and this will be helped to improve the efficiency and make it easier to introduce changes. Therefore, workers are also more likely to meet their full potential, will help to meet their higher level needs in the Maslow's hierarchy. As I told you always, you can use the theory, the knowledge of the human resource motivation theories also in answering. Then it's improve the like a value addition of your answer. Right? It's improve the value addition of your answer. Right. So let's go to the last question. Right. Yeah. Okay. Assess the benefits of Herman Miller of implementing the Kaizen and making more effective use of resources. Right. So this question, I invite Liara. Can you read the answer, please?
The introduction of Kaizen at Herman Miller has had a massive impact on the organization. It has helped Herman Miller to develop a more scientific approach to problem solving and resulted in the introduction of numerous standardized factory procedures. These changes and many others have improved the efficiency of operations. For example, a new Aeron chair comes off the production line every 16 seconds compared with 82 seconds 13 years ago. Production time has been reduced from 600 seconds to 340 seconds. Safety metrics have been improved by a factor of 6. Quality metrics have improved by a factor of 10, and the factory is 10 times smaller. Also, the labor time needed to make a single chair is 1/5 of what it used to be. Customer lead times have fallen from 2 months to 10 days. The product range has increased from 5 standard designs to 17. Reliability is 99.4% and product faults have reduced to less than 0.1%. The introduction of Kaizen has resulted in Herman Miller using its resources far more efficiently. This also has clear benefits. For example, if fewer resources are used, businesses' costs will be lower. Herman Miller uses less labor and much less in its operations. If costs are lower, then the business will make more profit. This will increase returns for owners and provide cheap funds for investments in the future. Lean producers will also have a competitive edge in the market. Businesses that use their resources efficiently will be able to lower prices. This should help Herman Miller to win a bigger share of the market. Customers are likely to benefit if a business makes more effective use of resources. For example, Herman Miller has reduced lead times and improved product quality. This means that customers will get their products more quickly and enjoy better performing products. Also, some Kaizen practices focus on customer products, on customer needs. Therefore, customers are likely to get better service. Finally, despite this impressive list of benefits, Herman Miller are still getting improvements a quarter to a half of a second at a time. Month by month, as the practice of Kaizen continues, the introduction of Kaizen has been a great success at Herman Miller.
Thank you, Liara. So mainly this answer is going to be like a 12 mark. You can see final conclusion is there, and disadvantages, some drawbacks are there, and also two advantages are there with the definition of the. A lot of application you can see, so every second what has happened to this. So using numbers is really important, because in answering, if you see some main numbers, using of numbers, percentage, market share, country names, different thing is improve the application skills. Always try to use more application skills in every paragraph as possible as you can, which increase the quality of your answer, especially application point, right? So that's the end of the lean production. So in my next session, I'm going to talk about the technology and business, the manufacturing, how to use the technology, like a performance, how they improve the performance by using the technology. So technology in production lesson, I'm going to start in my next session. So yeah, thank you very much. So that's it for the day. Thank you very much, everyone, right?